Okay, so now we're working on the prompt because this is the input. This is not our goal. So our goal we want to working on the stocks. So whenever I receive any stocks, we're working on the stocks. The word in the chat that come out the stocks. So I create the class called prompt. So in the learn I can remain this one no issue. But here this one I want to play with the some static class. So because this one is a nothing changes, so I want to play with a static class. So since we have a static class here, so I want to pass the system prompt because so this is some rules you have to follow when I have come to system prompt. So let me show you. Okay, I create in the prompt. I create one more called static read only router system prompt. So what happened? So this is the called schema. Looking at this one, this is the called schema. So there's the main key points here: the schema, rules, and critical. What the purpose is three. The first is the schema. Schema is a something like a we want to extract the JSON. So let's say the action we receive, for example, check stop. Let's say the user type check stop. So system automatically find is the stop. Next we checking the list stop. List means something like the word. Okay, I want written 20 record list. So we have to given this kind of action name. If it not means written, so we have to create the filters, name, category, suppliers, and is available or not. So this is all the properties we have to later we have to create the model for it. Next is the rules. So rules here this means important. For example, so how let's say if you use a message contains stock code, like if example my stock is a like they look like a like this. Looking at my data for the stock. So you see all start from SDK Q20. So Q so all these kind of stocks. So whenever user type these kind of stocks numbers, so automatically capture that. Then we can return the availability, all the information. So the action name is stock or not. So the exact code found and user can message. Next, let's say the user asks for the list. Let's say the list or search stock. Let's say the user type list stock. So let's say you search stock including available, not available. So we can return based on the information. This is the rules you have to set in the one by one. If the user talking about, let's say we're talking about available, please return only available stock. So we have to set is available is true or not. So this available from this case we pass in the on this one. Later we pass into the model. This one is a set as false. Let's say suddenly they are looking for which one is not available. So we can return false. Error. Next again, the user record stocks and update stocks and without stock. So this is a feature we are today. We mostly we focusing on the searching only. Let's say we put the stock code, we return the stock code. Then finally, it's a critical. Critical is a something like is a never guess, not illustrations. So something whenever they say go to get me the answer. Let's say for example when they type, let's say check okay, I'm focusing on the car base, so the stock is based on the car stock. But suddenly they say check the uh, onion price. So something is out of the this one, but still stocks. But this is more to illustration. So we have to given some critical information. Never guess. Okay, this kind of things we have to be on the consider because whenever they say we have to play with the stock codes. Because whenever the user receive, okay, this stock code capture, okay, we return. Even though let's say they put the check engine oil, it still doesn't return anything. They say they will can prompt, we can set any prompt. We have to specify with the stop codes, then we will return the reply. Okay, now I create one class called model router. So under the model router, I need to pass suppose we have to pass a two class. So one called router, another called filters. Why I have two class here? Looking at this one, one that is inside the schema, we call actions. Then there's a code, there's a filter. So inside the filter, we pass another list. So here, then pass is available. So in order to do the better way, so we have to create the parser router. So I use as a seal, so it's a purely C sharp approach. So because I don't want anything to inherit it from other classes or more, so to avoid, I want to avoid that. So next is I call the filters here. Inside the filter, I pass the name category. So why I don't want push name in the top anything. So certainly in the future, if there is any requirement, something okay, we want to looking for minimum price between these two. So everything to go for minimum price. Let's say I want something is faulty or not. I can add here. So let's say they suddenly they're asking for the minimum price date from when they created everything. I keep on adding here. So the schema, this all is remain same. But inside the filters only we adding here. So from here we no need we avoid to disturb the main core. Then we can increase, can settle based on these filters only. Okay. Now we are moved to next here. Once we created everything, now we everything start to structure back everything under this program. So now we need to call this class into this one. So let's do it. Okay guys, I forgot something here. So we need to create one helper class. So the helper class, the main purpose here. So every time we receive the JSON, because we go to LLM, we return, so we don't know how the return will be received. So sometimes this the answer might be can receive. So sure the here result. Then come up these actions, check stock code and available and all the answer. Second approach. So we will like second one it comes like a dot like I don't know, it's a apostrophe. So each apostrophe and JSON on this one. Another way is must be it can be. It's the first option it can be written like this. Second way is written like a first office three times. That return all this answer. Probably the third approach maybe this is a answer after the routing because we already route to our own router result. So from here this is the result. So this one is we and for us not necessary because we just given for answer what available that's it. So we need to remove the proper way. So we're looking for answer something this one and JSON format. Okay, get the list of and return type null and category engine and that's it. So we're looking for this kind of thing. So how we going to do achieve this thing? So first we create the our helper class. So inside the helper class, I want to create no one static methods. So here the static method. So I want to checking the first object we receive is the text. So checking is written. Otherwise, I go to the JSON. I return all the files, the tab into one by one, look through everything, then return. Otherwise, we put into the string we one by one. We checking the which one is escape. Otherwise, everything's in the detail. Continue until everything's so fine. See, we removing. If it is means return false in string. So from this case, we everything looking for the answers. See, we do that, we just reformatting everything. What I said before, we reformat everything in this manner. Probably we don't know, probably this answer like this, probably the post office, so we don't know what probably we can return. So we create this one. So once we create the helper methods, next part is we call this helper method. So what we're going to do, let's say we set create one variable, row just a path the router JSON. So next here, I want to call that helper class whenever I receive that raw. So I want to pass the raw into the helper. So I just put for JSON only because I want to looking for JSON. And so sometimes we don't know the response. So I just have okay. So the raw. So we already get the value we pass in the row, then we return as a JSON only. Next we checking if the JSON is a null or not. So if let's say the JSON, let's say there is a beside this approach, beside these three approach, here the result or three cross office. So beside these three approach, is a come up anything. So automatically we can say that okay, AI doesn't return valid JSON raw response. So we know already. So the issue here we continue. So we from as a developer we know the issue content, so we have to change here. So this part everything helper side is already completed. Next we need to checking the routing the result. Okay, now after we converted to JSON only, so next we try to uh, deserialize. So the reason is serialize. So whenever we receive the value in the JSON format, so as we know already, we receive in the like actions and check stock. So like this. So from this point, so we want to compare whether it's a check. You're talking about check stock or talking about list stock. So we need to determine you where to point. So from this point, we have to tell to. So that's the reason we need to deserialize the JSON format. So when we get the error, then go action, we can compare, okay, check stop. If you see that the prompt is based on the prompt here, check stop means, okay, we get the code, everything accordingly. So the stock codes, everything necessary. So how we can do that? So move here. So first, let's we get the our model, model dot router result. Then we call, let's we push as a null. Then we call ROUT route. That's it. So we want to working on so looking at this one. So here already suggested. So from here we change the text, decentralized, then router and then JSON only. So we already passed the value we're looking for. So everything's continue. So if there is any issue, then we go to next. We because we put the continue because we don't want exit from the loop, we still can user can still can check the next element. So once we've done that, okay, we need to check. Next is we have to check whether the root is a null or not. Sometimes the actions here sometimes can be written null because they simply put any text. So suddenly they didn't check the null, so check stuff or this one. So probably can be suddenly they can be null. So we have to check this one as well. Is a null or not. So first I have to check. So from the root we already assigned here the root here. So we pass if root equal to null. So the JSON. So the pass is a null. So from here, you know already the null we're looking for is a this is a null. So we pass the raw JSON, then we can continue again. So everything's there, no issue. Everything's look fine. Everything's the root also they checking accordingly. Everything's fine. Then only finally we come to we get the all the elements we're looking for. How? First we check the actions.